Marvel Rivals is heading on a very dangerous path, which is known as content overload. Now, before I get any further, I just want to make sure that this is no way any hate towards Marvel Rivals or what they got going on so far. So what I mean by content overload is that Marvel Rivals starting off gave us 35 characters, and that is just with the season 1 release when they added Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. They also already plan on adding the Thing and the Human Torch at the end of season 1, making a total of 4 new characters in just one season. Now, they did mention in a post that this is the first season, so they decided to go all out and make it a bigger season than what they actually planned. And as a matter of fact, they said it is double the size of an average season to come in the future. Now, all this comes to question, if you have 37 characters in total by the end of season 1, and you're planning to add 2 characters every season, how many seasons is it going to take before you have too many characters? Just for a comparison, Overwatch was released in 2016. When Overwatch 2 was out and they were on their 4th season, Lifeweaver came out. If you guys don't care about Overwatch, let me just break down why this is important. Lifeweaver was Overwatch's 37th character released. Now, this means that it took them 7 years to get to the point that Marvel Rivals is already at. Now, this has a lot of pros and a lot of cons. The good thing is that Marvel Rivals has a lot of content and it's refreshing and it keeps the characters engaging. And Overwatch, they took too long on that side and it kept the game kind of stale, and they accused the game of taking too long to add new things. Now, this is where I say Marvel Rivals has to be very careful and find a sweet spot where they're not doing too much content overloading, where we get to a point of League of Legends and have way too many characters for an average person to keep in mind. And you might be wondering, why does it matter how many characters they have? It keeps the game fun, it keeps the game engaging, and it keeps the game refreshing. It makes you want to keep playing the game because there's always something new to look forward to. And I understand that. I agree that there has to be something new being put in the game consistently in order to have this engagement with fans. But there is a side that makes it very challenging for a company to do it right. For example, every time they add a character, they have to keep these questions in mind. Number 1, what role is the character going to be in, and is that role already overpopulated? Number 2, what does the character do? Number 3, does this character feel like another character? Number 4, what does the character combine with, and is it overpowered? These questions are very important every time that they add one into the game. The reason it's so important is because these questions affect the rest of the roster as well. So every time they add one character, they have to go along the entire roster and see how they perform against or with every character, seeing as they could pick any character whether they're attacking or defending. And as you might already realize, this is gonna be an issue further down the line. Why? Because you might forget about certain abilities that other characters have, or you might realize that, hey, this character is super overpowered and now we're creating a new meta and having a whole shift. But I'm gonna stop that idea right here and have you realize that you haven't even thought about the characters that were already added in the beginning. We've been talking about these new characters being added over and over and over again, but just like we are already forgetting to speak about the original characters in the game, the developers have a good chance of doing so as well, meaning old characters are going to feel so stale because they haven't been updated, they haven't been changed, and they've been kept the same as before, and they might even fall behind as newer characters might be more powerful as they have been recently added. One thing that Marvel Rivals is good at is combos, and this is a great thing that Marvel Rivals can take advantage of because it can add new maps, new combos, new skins, new game modes, and so on and so on and so on. So what I'm trying to say is I hope Marvel Rivals doesn't just think that all we want is new characters. Yes, it's great. I would love to see a bunch of Marvel characters that aren't in the game put in. Of course I would, because I'm a big Marvel fan, but I need to understand also as fans that this game needs to be balanced to begin with. And in order to do that, we need new maps, new characters, everything added little by little, trickling in and making sure that we're not messing up the game in the run. Luckily, Marvel Rivals has Overwatch to take notes from and see what they did wrong in the process to get to the point where they're at today, which I'm sorry, Overwatch, in the peak, you were amazing, but we can all agree that you have definitely fallen down. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.